What's up, everybody? It's Alex Sigrist, and I'm back for the first time in a long time with other people on my channel. We have Rachel Kim.
Woo, what's up, guys?
And Xander.
Hi.
Via We Fancy and another camera channel. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us on.
You've been watching my videos lately, right?
Yes.
They've been slightly
Yes.
critical on the U.S. Slightly.
You've been
You
honest.
have the right to be critical. It's your country.
It is my country. Well, that's not what I want today.
Okay.
I want some foreigner perspective, some criticism from the outside, and I want you guys to be as honest and brutal as possible.
Bring it
Are we
on.
protected by the First Amendment?
No.
Oh.
Only Americans are, and only certain Americans are, apparently. So, let's go ahead and jump into it. Today's topic is more about how perception of Americans has changed from the outside. Whether you're someone from England or you're someone from Korea, I want to know really like what changed in your mind about Americans. Do we seem smarter, dumber, more divided, more, I don't know, active? Like, what is it that's changed? So let's start with the basics. Are you following what's been going on in the last couple of weeks?
Pretty much.
I think it's hard not to know what's going on.
You're not from America, but you still are inundated with like all the news about it. Like, is it kind of overwhelming? Like, this is your country, why don't you fix it? Or is it something that you're interested in?
I mean, from an outsider perspective, it's kind of interesting to see how things are done and what things are happening, because obviously the political situation in America affects the world, right? Whether we like it or not. So when something bad happens in America, things happen like stock market goes down, that
Right.
affects us over here too, right?
Yeah.
You know, fuel prices or like oil prices. I know that was more COVID, but like it's worldwide now. If
Yeah.
something bad happens, it's worldwide. It is kind of annoying that I have to care.
Yeah.
I'd rather not care. I see all these things that I can't even be involved in. Like when people are like, vote, go out and vote.
Sorry.
And I'm like, yes, please, people, go out and vote, make a change, right? But I can't do anything myself. I feel helpless.
In Korea, is there like nonstop U.S. news going on? Is it too much or?
Non-stop news going on here the same too, because as Xander said, what's happening in America affects the whole world. Like it or not, that's the truth for now. If something happens in another country, like in a third world country, then we wouldn't probably know about this. But it is a big country, and people still talk about it. And all the influencers, all the artists too, they are forced or they voluntarily talk about it constantly. So it's hard not to know.
What do you think, from an outsider point of view, is a bigger story now or in the future? Is it COVID-19? Is it the George Floyd situation? Is it economic policy? Like, what does it feel like is the biggest thing that's going to affect you as an outsider?
I heard that people saying that America voluntarily decided that COVID-19 is over.
Oh, it's done, by the way, yeah. Open up the country.
I hardly see people talking about coronavirus anymore, but only the movement.
Well, obviously, I'm not worried by the George Floyd thing. I'm in support of change.
Okay, yeah,
For,
fair.
systemic racism. That should be, dealt with. Obviously, that's talked about more in the US than it is in the UK. I know it definitely exists in the UK.
Yeah.
It's definitely not there, right? But the way that COVID is now not being handled, the way it was really badly handled before, and now everything, like Rachel said, it's just been completely stopped, right? No one's even talking about it anymore. And I think every news in the world has kind of been affected by the US now not caring about it before. Because the news before was like, look at how bad the US is doing. Look at how many people are dying. Trump should be doing something better, right? The UK was the same. Boris Johnson, absolutely terrible. I hate him. He did really, really bad. But he's trying to be like, oh, we did a really good job. You didn't do a very good job.
Compared to us, maybe.
No, it's
Still pretty bad.
We're just way smaller than you, but I think we're number 2 in the world.
It's
in
pretty
terms
bad.
of deaths and stuff like that. And it's
pretty bad.
ridiculous. How can you say that that's a good job, right?
Isn't
the amount
that-
of people dying every day, and you're saying that's a good job? No, and now, because there's no controls anymore, we're going to know in 2 weeks the damage.
Isn't that weird? Like,
That's the problem, the time lag of this. Like, we're going to know in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
How many people at those protests, or the police that were fighting them, right?
Yeah.
now have it and have gone back to their families
Yeah.
and have not been wearing masks.
And now they're opening the economy up, and so everyone's going out.
Yeah.
How have the news stories of 2020 changed your opinions of either the country America or American people?
I mean, I didn't have America held in that high regard anyway.
That's
but
fair.
I believe that I'm shocked at how unself-aware you are as a country, and how selfish that you've treated yourselves and the whole world, like things that are happening, and how bad the political system is. How are you letting things go through Congress like this? What are you doing?
We don't
You're
know.
letting them just, you have a president who's tweeting at like 1 a.m.
I don't get
and then
it
he gets
either.
stuff removed by Twitter, and then he changes the law to try and get Twitter in trouble. How are you letting that person be in power?
I don't
Who
really
thinks that's a good idea? And anyone who does think that's a good idea, why you keep electing these people?
He doesn't have a publicist. How can he?
He doesn't listen to his publicist. He probably does.
They're all yet. Well,
They're
have
all
you
yes
noticed
people.
that every time someone stands up to him, they get fired?
That's crazy.
So they either be a yes man.
That's a dictatorship.
Oh,
You know what?
there you go. You said it. That's exactly what it is. And
I'm dumb. Sorry.
the people, I really hope. I think,
think
what,
so.
is it November?
Yep.
I really hope November there's some good news, And I don't want Biden to be the damn person. Again, stop letting these people put their like horse out to race, whatever the phrase is, Take a bit more control.
Ouch.
Call out conspiracy and controversy when you see it. When Biden became the frontrunner, there should have been riots and protests like there was for George Floyd. Stand behind Bernie. Bernie is the man. Bernie has been your guy for like 60 years or whatever.
He was
You
he
know?
was in the protests before it was cool to be in
and
the
you'd rather
protest.
take Biden who can't even remember his own name? Like, come on.
I feel like
Ridiculous.
We need a political talk show.
It's just, it's maddening to watch this stuff happen, and it's even worse to see people
Yeah.
defending it.
Yeah.
Like, do you not have any conscious,
Ouch.
thoughts about, like, oh, this seems wrong? Like, stop labeling yourself like a Democrat or Republican, right? These lines, everything's fucked now, Stop supporting a team just because you're part of the team, right? Shift. You can change. You can change sides. Or become a centralist like him.
I'm definitely not centrist.
Because I have no control over any of
Yeah.
this, and I know it will affect me at some point.
Oh yeah.
It's maddening.
I like what you said about just no self-awareness. It's like we're sort of becoming aware that we're not aware at this moment. Like, oh, we don't know anything about our own country because we've been told the whole time, like, we're the best. So what we do is correct.
It's like that, was it New York police union leader? Giving
Yeah.
that thing, like, you
Oh.
should treat us with respect. It's disgusting the way we've been treated. And then people have cut the police violence on top of what he's saying.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, you are so unaware,
Yeah.
or not self-aware. Like, I
yeah.
hope he sees that and he's like, oh.
Okay, let's get the Korean perspective on that. How has the view of the American country or the American people changed?
Well, obviously, I'm not gonna speak for Koreans, but I'm just gonna speak for myself, my personal opinions. And I don't want to offend anybody, but I will say this. In 2020, America definitely burst the bubble for me. It's bubble.
It's like this
the
aura
the illusion has shattered.
of being such a great country or...
Well, I didn't believe that in
Okay,
the first place either, but I definitely had an image of some sort of a fantasy because it's not like I don't know America. I lived there a couple of years myself. However, just let's talk about racism. Not aware of themselves. It's crazy because when COVID-19 hit, the racism toward Asians was enormous and it was ridiculous. And Trump was empowering it, encouraging it. And then black community got hit by the police brutality. And now they are overly...
We've hit everybody. I mean, we hit the Mexican, well, anyone from Latin America with detention centers. But he said Mexicans build the wall with Mexico and the
separating the families.
they're all rapists, and drug
Yeah.
dealers or something.
And then the system is so strong and it's on you guys because you elected Trump.
Yeah.
You are
Like-
perpetuating the system. Everyone except for the privileged people is losing and they are fighting among themselves. It's literally divide and rule system.
Yeah.
Yeah. How I mean,
Everyone
Obama
is
was
victim.
amazing. Like people, every time Obama's been like commenting on these things, and people are like, I really miss like how a president sounds. Like that's how a president sounds. A president isn't tweeting, like trying to fight internet companies and stuff like that. Like if any other person had done that during their term, they probably would have been, impeached or taken away.
Yeah.
Right? The power would have been taken away from them. But for some reason, they just keep letting Trump get away with this. There's so many red flags.
That's what a cult of personality is, or a straight up cult. I mean, it's like, not to say like there aren't cults on both sides, of course, but like he said, if anyone did those, if any other president did that, including a Republican president, including a Democratic president, they'd be out.
I know there are a lot of people who say the right things on the internet and in reality too. You guys are speaking about the right things.
Oh.
But however, the system says so.
Yeah.
The system is not changing. And who's voting for the system? Americans. And so I don't know who to believe. Are you guys being hypocritical because you say A, but then the result is showing B, and you guys are not changing at all, and it's continuing.
Yeah, what saddens me the most is last year, or like near the end of last year, and it started again. Like we witnessed China, going into Hong Kong and the riots there, right? The protests, and the police brutality there was disgusting. I felt very sad about that, and I just had the mindset of like, well, that's China, we can't do anything about it, right?
Yeah.
But then the US lets that happen inside their own country. You have police, which is basically like a very well-funded militia.
Yeah.
It's like people have been saying that why does every police officer have like $12,000 worth of like protective gear while hospitals can't get masks, which cost like 10 cents to make or less, right?
Yeah.
Like how was there such a disparity there? And then for the National Guard to come in, and at least they behave nicely compared to the police, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there was any massive problems with the National Guard, right?
The military has, for the most part, stayed back from confrontation. It's been the police.
There we go. Like
That's been surprising. I was wrong about that.
yeah, I was kind of worried when they said like call the National Guard, and I was like, oh, the people were gonna get shot.
Yeah, it's
Right?
happened before. Kent State.
But the police rolling around in like armored Humvees and like
They're the military.
police
Yeah.
vehicle, military like personnel vehicles and stuff. Like, how did you let it get that bad? Why would any police force need that? Think about that. And that's your tax dollars right there. Defund the police.
I feel like people are
Change
lying.
the system. That's what has to happen.
People are hiding behind their mask because people know what's right. People know what's PC, what is right. People always need to choose love, righteous, justice. But people would say that out there, but actually in reality, they are perpetuating it.
And like, the police were committing war crimes.
Yeah. Police are-
Attacking medics.
Yep.
Not even in wars
Press corps.
do people do that. They don't attack. They attack the press.
Yeah.
How are you letting these things happen, guys?
It attacks
Exactly.
Australian press.
Please vote. Do something.
Really,
Vote something.
Get yourself educated. And sorry, I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
what I
really
would say on my
sorry.
channel.
Yeah.
So get yourself educated.
I mean, it's your country. What you guys choose affect the whole world, and we cannot let someone like Trump affect the whole world.
We can't take bottles of liquid anywhere in the world on a plane because of 9/11.
Love and
And
justice.
so that was a huge action because of something which, compared to COVID, is insignificant.
Yeah, but see, that was
It was a
That was-
tragedy. It was a tragedy. It was a national tragedy.
That-
but
the boogeyman brown people did. That's why change happened back then.
then they'll let millions of people die or whatever, or millions of people be affected at least.
Because you can't politicize that and win like you can brown people.
Hey, I have a question.
It's maddening.
You guys know the candlelight movement happened in Korea and it
Yeah.
changed things
Yeah.
actually a couple years ago. Do you believe in the power of peaceful protest?
Not in America in the
Why?
current situation.
Well,
Why?
they were peaceful protesting. And they still got attacked by
The-
police.
the
I saw
police-
people
That's
lying
the
on the
system.
ground. People lying on the ground doing absolutely nothing.
You guys
Police
gave
just walked
too
by us.
much power to the
So-
police.
so
That's
Pepper
messed
spray in the
up.
face.
In that case, yes, I believe it can work because they are peacefully protesting. The police are instigating it. And yes, when a protest becomes a riot after they've been attacked, which isn't
Yeah.
really happening either, it's not really a riot, then yes, the peaceful protests I think are working because we have had some institutional changes. Slow, not enough, but yes, they're working.
Why is it slow? And then why do you give too much power?
Because we're an
to the
oligarchy.
police?
Because they found out that the U.S. is actually technically considered an oligarchy, and people who have the gold make the
What
rules.
is oligarchy?
The rich people control everything at the top.
So why can't you break that system?
Because I'm not rich, basically. And the people watching this video probably just don't have
When
enough money
common
to change
people
it.
gather
Rise up.
together, rise up.
So you heard it here, everyone. This is the opinions of people outside the U.S. who are not Americans, what they think of it. Get yourself educated. Is that right?
Sorry I offended everybody.
Everybody.
Someone, some of you
Everybody.
guys, but I hope you know what I mean. This is my second language.
Yeah.
If you want to talk to me in Korean.
Thank you for coming in. If you're interested in Korean content, then go to Rachel's channel. She is way less political than when we just went. If you're interested in just fun Korean content, or
Don't even send them over.
Don't even send them over?
I don't want the political people coming.
Me neither.
this
Don't
guy,
wanna-
who
don't
are
even
these
say
people?
it.
If you're
I mean-
political,
Just
stay
say,
out.
just say thanks for
If
joining.
you-
Thanks for joining, Xander,
Yeah.
Rachel, Kim. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And
Peace out.
peace out.
Peace up, 8 times.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, I will see you next time. You know what to do. Like, subscribe,
Make good choices.
make good choices, get educated, and then comment about how you got educated.
Peace out.
Goodbye, Haseyo. Well done. I wonder how much of the internet we pissed off today.